Hey Anime Loungers, it's Ricky, along with my two co-hosts, Matt and Lance. As you guys know, we have a tradition to always record our podcast with an adult beverage of choice. Today my adult beverage of choice is a Bloody Mary with a chaser, and that's a Bush Apple. Lance, what are you sipping over there?
I too am drinking a Bloody Mary because it is 8:43 currently. So just to throw out that time, need a morning drink. So that's Bloody Mary for me as well. And I'm chasing that down with a Wisconsin favorite, Spotted Cow, New Glarus style. What about you, Matt?
As you guys remember, I don't drink Bloody Marys, even in the mornings, because I think they're disgusting. I'm going to go with our original, which was a Glenmorangie, and then I'm also having a Spotted Cow. Lance, can you kind of tell us what this one's going to be about?
Yeah, so previously in our archives, you can find that we talked about that time I got reincarnated as a slime, Season 1 and Season 2 Part 1. Today we are doing Season 2 Part 2, and the reason is because it just recently got released, so we couldn't cover it earlier. So Season 2 Part 2 takes place at episode 37, and at this point, Rimuru is considered a demon lord, and Eldora has taken his human form. And then we can really just continue from there. So let's just talk about some characters like usual. Matt, you had a nice little but how'd you phrase that earlier?
We already talked about what our favorite characters were from Season 1 and Season 2 Part 1. For me, that character hasn't really changed, but has that changed for you guys?
I'm still a fan of Zoe. It's just there's not enough screen time for him.
Yeah, I was gonna say Zoe. He only had one episode that he really came in and he didn't even do anything. He was just recon. Really, was it?
Oh, I'm talking about Season 1.
No, it's the Season 2 Part 2.
Oh no, he fights that dragon.
Yeah, he fights the dragon.
He fights that skeleton dragon.
Oh, yeah,
so he's pretty badass in that.
Oh yeah, because it kept regenerating and coming back to life.
Yeah, but that was still only one episode.
He didn't use any badass moves though, did he? He just cut them in half.
Well, he did
cut
them in many pieces, and
he uses string attack.
Yeah,
that's right.
That was kind of badass, but you got to see it once.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, actually, speaking of him, I was at that one event, the anime and comic book. I actually got an action figure, or not an action figure, a little statue of Sony.
Just a figure?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so I added it to my collection. I'll be posting that on Instagram.
There we go. Yeah,
I need to step up my game. You guys both got figures before I've even updated my collection.
I think I passed all you guys. Not Ricky. Rickie's, but you've also got,
I got it.
DC and a bunch of other stuff.
Funko Pop, shit like that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually going to post a video of the basement I got downstairs.
Yeah, it's pretty badass setup.
The game room, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say I'm happy that you get to see Benimaru be a complete badass again. That was always a great time.
Man.
Yeah, he had one great scene. That's about... I don't know. At the same time, I feel like there's so many characters in that time I got reincarnated as a slime, but because there's so many, you got so little screen time with everybody.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it almost really sucks. It's a double-edged sword. Everyone's badass, but you only get to see them a little bit, and because of that, their action scenes are super quick.
Yep,
they're beautiful as hell. I love all the action in this series, like it was in the first part, but
not even the action, it's just the backstories. You can almost make a spin-off of a couple certain groups in this anime.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, this could branch out like crazy, which would be pretty cool.
Yeah, but no, I agree with you with Benimaru. He's just a badass. Not even just his abilities or his technique. I was reminiscing about the battle that they were having and how he was talking that he already planned ahead to take survivor prisoners of war to help them build roads. Just the type of mentality he has, and his leadership was fucking amazing.
Oh yeah, because he was given that extra ability or whatever, a born again leader, I think it was called.
It was
natural born leader, something along those lines.
Remember.
It was in that episode that you're referring to when he's planning ahead so far. One of the wishes that he was given, or something along those lines, was to be such a great leader.
Yeah.
Just like
Shion.
Shion was
cooking.
Shion was given that cooking ability.
But presentation still matters.
Yeah. Shion is probably one of my I wouldn't say favorite, But my appreciation for Shion skyrocketed after the end of this series when they were at Walpurgis and she took on Demon Lord Clayman,
Yep.
like by herself.
He was pretty weak.
Yeah, dude, for a Demon Lord, this dude couldn't do shit.
So I don't know if you guys noticed, but there are technically 2 forms of a Demon Lord.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
they,
Like the Demon Lord and the Awakened.
the
Demon
awakened
form. Mhm.
Demon Lord, and then you have your regular Demon Lord. So you guys didn't notice, like, Clayman didn't actually kill the 20,000 humans to become an awakened Demon Lord.
So he was just given a title by Kazim or something like that. What's that? Demon
Kazarim.
Lord? Kazarim, close.
And kind of, but I mean, he was strong, and he was recognized by the Demon Lords, but he wasn't a truly awakened Demon Lord, if that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah. It's just they really kind of flipped the switch. Like, in my opinion, they were making Clayman out to be like this powerful being.
Yeah.
And then when they finally meet up, dude is just, you know,
He had nothing to show.
steel door cowboy hero type thing. Yeah, he just talks a lot of shit, but didn't have anything to back it up. Oh, that's me.
And yeah, you definitely thought he was going to be so much more badass, and then you find out that he's just like, oh, he can manipulate shitty,
Oh yeah,
weak people.
Puppets. What were they called? Marionettes.
Marionettes, yep.
Yeah, I thought that could have been really cool, but no, not Soe. Oh shit, what's her name again? Shion. Just fucking obliterated him. She even took a quick little second, like, should I wait here longer for it to take effect?
Yeah.
Getting all cocky in the middle of the battlefield, taking on his so-called most powerful move at that moment, because after he got, like, gifted the life energy into that second form, then all of a sudden he's got a new ultimate technique that he thinks that he knew. I thought that was kind of a bad writing, but it's a stupid
which
critique.
ultimate technique?
The second time? Because the first time in his regular state, he had those, the demon binding power, like you can control even a demon lord, and then Shion's like, should I wait? And then, so he called that one his most powerful technique. And then after he got rebirthed as that even powerful one, after exchanging his life energy for more power, he was powering up for another attack, and then he called that one his most powerful technique. So, I don't know, it was kind of contradictory to say that one was his most powerful, and then that this one is now his most powerful. Yeah. I mean, I understand it's a new form.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
But that's the only credit you can give that one. It was just, could have worded things a little bit differently, but it's just being too...
So did your favorite person change, Lance? Did we get to you?
So the first time we talked, I said Benimaru was my favorite, and right now I said that Shion was spiked in my respect area. I don't know, it's kind of... I guess I can kind of stay the same. Can't really... Benimaru is still just a badass. He took on Charybdis with like one hit again, just like Malim did, although this wasn't necessarily the true Charybdis that they were talking about. So
yeah, they said it was only a fraction of his
But still,
power.
Just the one little instinct, boom, one little power attack, done.
Well, the snake biscuiteer, what's her name?
Elvis?
Alice? Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, Alice. She was like, I couldn't even beat that guy, and he beat him with 2 attacks, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So...
What's that one that like praises Demon Lord Malim? That guy, the bald guy, the super powerful guy.
Master.
Because him and Benimaru were trying to spar. Like that just gave me a little glimpse of the whole Goku thing. You know, always trying to find the stronger person.
Well, and then they were like, "Well, I couldn't actually beat you without trying to kill you, so it's not even worth it."
Yeah, I like that they said that because that did bring up a good concept that you can't really prove how strong you are unless you're like your life is on the line. Mm-hmm. So that was a good cop out, but being good about it.
So any new characters that you guys are looking for?
I got one to talk about real quick.
Okay.
She's not new, but we got to see her actual power, Shuna, the pink-haired
princess
Shuna. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So we didn't see any of like her battle styles in anything prior until he was fighting, what was it, the index finger or whatever? I don't remember what finger he was. The skeleton
guy, yep.
Yeah, I know you just had that episode up prior on your laptop, but yeah, she's got that holy power or whatever it was called. I thought was pretty badass.
Yeah, that was super badass because then, I mean, he was like, oh, I didn't think we could use holy powers, or like, you can't use holy powers, you're a monster. And she was like, well, actually, if you have willpower, you can do it. And he's like, oh no.
Right. Yeah, you just had to like trust and believe enough, and then all of a sudden she got super powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was... I'm looking forward to seeing what else she can do. Then she put that super powerful barrier that nobody could get into with minimal effort.
Yeah, the barrier... They do a lot of barriers in this show. Like, I know they did like that double barrier in our last episode that we talked about. And then there's also that barrier back at Walpurgis with the Crimson dude.
Yeah.
Where he puts up that super powerful barrier during the fight.
Oh, yeah.
So, just to kind of get to him real fast, in the manga, his name is Guy. G-U-I. And the anime, they call him Gi.
Yeah, they call him Gi, but I watch my anime with subtitles on still because I like to read while I watch.
Yeah.
Not necessarily because I'm still watching it in English, but I like to make sure that I get like spelling and stuff done. So in the English, it's still spelt G-U-Y, but it's pronounced Gi. So that confused me at first. I'm like, who's Guy? And they didn't even say Guy, but they say Gi. Yeah. So I'm sure it's going to cause a lot of confusion.
Just so anybody knows, if you read it, it's a G-U-I, or if you're watching it in subbed.
Yeah, so Gi Crimson.
Yep.
He's badass.
Yeah. If we're going to be talking about new characters, he's probably he's got to be the strongest of the 8, I would assume, and he's the new favorite.
He is the strongest. Like, everybody was making sure everybody knew that.
Right.
Like, they were just like praising this guy.
So,
like, indirectly, but they were just...
Did you hear what they called him?
No.
I might have missed that.
He was one of the original Demon Lords. So they talk about...
Okay.
In the manga, they talk about who were the original Demon Lords, and then...
Because there's like 4 of them?
There's 3.
3 of them?
They call out 3 of them. In the anime, they don't say how many there are. They just say the original Demon Lords. You can kind of infer 2 of them. Mm-hmm. You guys...
Malim and the fairy girl.
No, yeah. I think Malim was one of the newer ones.
She's one of the oldest.
Yeah, she's one of the oldest. Yeah. She was one of the original ones.
And then Artemis? Is it Artemis? The fairy?
Whatever. Romaris.
Is it Romaris?
Yeah. Romaris is kind of what it looks like, but it's Romaris.
Okay. She's one of the original?
She's one of the original because she's the one that is kind of like a phoenix, where she'll get old and then basically reincarnate as herself, as a younger version, keeping all of her knowledge, and then just getting old again.
Okay.
So she's like a phoenix, essentially.
That's cool. I don't remember any of that explained.
I explained that in the manga minute section.
Damn.
In our last one we talked about. So.
I want to see more out of her. She's so tiny. You don't expect much to come out of her, but she's a demon lord. So I want to see her go into the super badass life-threatening battle. Yeah. I need her to like redeem herself in that way, just to prove.
I don't think you're going to get anything out of her until she gets older. Like, it's going to be one of those long, not drawn out, but one of those like long-winded thing. Mm-hmm. Not long-winded. You know what I'm saying? Just, it's going to take a while for her to actually develop into like a super badass.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, so she's not so powerful right now, which made me think of the Harpy stepping down. I thought that was pretty crazy that Demon Lord would just...
Faye,
yeah. Would just give up her status. And, you know, I like that they gave her like a reason. Like, she doesn't feel confident in her own abilities anymore, and she'd rather serve another Demon Lord, Malim, along with the other dude. Carrion.
Yeah.
Of the Beast. He stepped down.
I was surprised when he stepped down too, because he was strong, but then I guess when you see all the other ones fight, he was like, well, I'm not even close to strong enough.
Right. Especially since they were talking about how Malim just casually destroyed him.
Yeah, she just wrecked his country up.
You know, speaking of Lord Carrion, I just appreciate the stupid little humor. Like when they said because he came in with the lion mask on. Right. They're like, there's no way that's him. Like hiding in the most obvious costume. And it turned out to be
right.
It's a stupid little comedy about this show. What makes it great to me.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely put enough emphasis that lion was something to keep a close eye on. I didn't personally think that it was Carrion or anything like that, but like something's up with him at least.
So let me ask you guys this: honestly, did you guys think Malim was under control the whole time?
I thought she was under control. I thought she was mind controlled. Yeah, just straight up. I thought she was mind controlled because she had that blank ass face and she was taking all those beatings.
Matt?
Yes, but I also assumed Clayman was strong enough to do that. Like, yes.
Right.
So when Laplace was like, hey, be mindful of Maliam, I thought it was going to be like what Faye had said when he beats her up too much, she's going to snap out of it kind of thing. Not, she was never under control.
Right, especially after Rimuru used Beelzebub to take some of her energy during that fight. And then she made like a little grunt or like a smirk, and then I'm like, okay, so maybe Beelzebub took away some of that mind control.
I don't know.
So that's where
I personally think she was never under control. Like I didn't know that. I didn't think that when I was watching it.
Yeah.
But like at the end, he was trying to like use that little ability to take that mind control, and he got nothing.
Right.
So I just think it never took effect.
All right, so you didn't buy the fact that she was probably being controlled the whole time?
Yeah.
Makes sense. I can get behind that one.
But yeah, it takes a lot for her just to sit there and get the shit beat out of her.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as we can tell, like there's a huge power difference.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it didn't
Claim
matter.
Fall like a fly to her.
Yeah.
Well, it's so after watching it the second time and knowing that she wasn't being controlled, like you could see that she got no damage to her. Like
right.
There was no scuff marks on her at all. So it's like, oh, okay. Well, apparently he's just that weak compared to her.
Yeah, because she's super powerful, and like I was saying earlier, Shion, she just took him on all by herself.
Yep. And yeah, it's what I will say. So just kind of, and the only hint you get in the manga is because you don't get that smirk in the manga is while Walpurgis, there is while Clayman's talking, there's a scene and you see Maliam like kind of do a fist pump underneath the table. I was like, oh that's
really?
kind of weird. But yet they don't show that in the anime.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, other than that little smirk during the battle, I don't think she shows any, I don't know a good word to use. Personality.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely something I didn't see coming along that she was actually never being controlled.
Well, back to the original question, Matt, did you have a character that you continue to like, or?
Well, I know for me, Benimaru was probably my favorite besides Rimuru. And then you got to see him being a strategist, which was really cool. Seeing his special skill, his awakened skill, might be a better way to say it. I'm not 100% sure.
I forget the term they used.
Yeah, so that was really cool. Seeing how much stronger he got was awesome, and it was still kind of funny to see when Alvis, sorry,
that's the snake.
The snake
beast.
Beaskatir. Tricks him into being the commander of the battle so that she can go fight. I thought that was kind of funny.
Oh, I guess I kind of glossed over the tricking aspect of it. But I do remember him saying, don't fight if you can't win. And then that's when he steps into the Charybdis deal. Yeah,
so when they're watching over the battle, when Clayman's army's through that corridor of the mountains or the plateaus, he talks about they fallen into the trap, and then the Beaskateers are talking to Benimaru and was like, well, you're doing such a great job, why don't you just be in charge? And he's like, alright, I'll be in charge. And then she's like, alright, so now I can go fight people, right? He's like, oh, you got me. This is what you wanted to begin with, wasn't it? So, yeah, it was a funny little...
Let her practice, man, because Benimaru's already strong enough. So let her have her practice.
Her practice. She's a Beaskateer, she's considered one of the strongest.
I don't know. Compared to Benimaru?
Yeah, there's a power gap.
There's a huge difference.
I did enjoy her transformation, though. When she turned into, like, the full snake with the
lightning all over her.
Oh, yeah, I thought that was super badass.
Yeah, and I liked how, like, fast and badass she was as a snake form, because me personally, if I saw, like, no legs or anything like that, I wouldn't think of speed.
Oh, man. I gotta show you guys. Well, after all this, I'll show you guys a small little clip, because it's funny that you said that. I watched this like twice, and there was this one little scene where Alvis was fighting the middle finger guy.
Yeah, the ice sword guy.
Yeah, and like they're like having like a discussion, but like I don't know, it's just a little cutscene where like she kind of just slithers away super slow. It just doesn't look natural. Yeah, and I picked it up twice, so I want to show you that little scene because it cuts from the middle finger guy. They're about to fight. She just like slowly slithers out of like the scene.
Yeah, I saw that.
It was weird, but it was a small little like.
Okay, I'd want to see that again.
Yeah, small little detail.
But back to that fight, that's where getting another shout out to Gapta. comes in and like
yeah,
he stops it in a way to like save him in a way, and then Gobta's like, okay, there's no way I can take on this guy for real, and then he's got that little way that he like weasels out of it.
Isn't that Ryan Reynolds?
No. we officially found out that's not the same Ryan.
That's not the Ryan Reynolds, but it's a Ryan Reynolds.
It is Ryan Reynolds, just not the Ryan Reynolds everybody knows about.
Yeah.
That was my bad.
Yeah. That was something we figured out after we posted the last episode of Slime. Yeah, that was funny. Gobta was pretty sweet coming in there.
Yep.
Because he is... I like how they make such a little guy so powerful. He's probably one of the most powerful of the ogres, right?
Well, powerful and lucky.
Lucky.
Goblins?
Goblins, there we go.
Yep.
Ogres. Ogres are...
It's Benimaru.
Shion and Benimaru, Soe, and Shuna. And the old dude, I don't remember his name. I wrote it down. Oh, there, Hakuro.
Hakuro, yep.
Yeah, he had a quick little scene. I don't think during that death fight, he didn't show any, like, powers. He was just slicing away at the skeletons and stuff, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was just kind of being his swordsman self, that's all. Yeah,
that was really time for Shuna to shine in that episode.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I thought it was good to see her shine. And then, so is there any other characters that you're looking forward to seeing?
Well, I think we can just talk about all the Demon Lords at that point, but
let's
not go that direction yet.
I do want to take a step back. Diablo, what'd you guys think of Diablo for season 2?
Honestly, I was disappointed. I don't remember anything coming out of him other than him being...
At that meeting,
he was given the title of like second in command of secretary. Like he was the secretary, or whatever it was.
He's the second secretary. Yep.
Yeah, that was it.
I'm in the same boat with you, Lance. I want to see more of them.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, especially since the Demon Lords, like I don't remember who it was, probably Geek Crimson. Said something about black, and then even Reamer was like, "What are you talking about?" Because I think they were just trying to like play it off like he didn't remember that black was Diablo because he named him Diablo, blah blah blah.
Yeah, well, he was in the middle of falling asleep while becoming the Demon Lord, so everything in that time period, he was just kind of like,
that's true. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right, I did this.
Yeah, and he named him because he saved Reamer's life, and
yep. I can kind of get your hopes up. We'll just put it that way. When we go into the manga time, there's definitely some badass things about Diablo that happens that you don't get to see.
Well, that's disappointing.
Well, better be season 3.
Yeah, right. Oh, we know that there's definitely gonna be a season 3 because
it's too good of an anime.
Yeah,
way too.
There's too much information that they're throwing out there. They did leave us with some cliffhangers.
Mm.
Well, if you guys remember that screenshot that I showed you guys, which will get posted on Instagram and stuff. The screenshot
had something to do with Fused, didn't it?
No.
One of the screenshots did.
So one of them, you see Diablo and the 3 prisoners, remember?
What 3 prisoners?
So the 3 prisoners from Farum. So the king and
oh yeah. I get what you're talking about. Yeah.
So we'll go into that. I'll discuss that little scene a little bit more. But yeah, it's you get to, there's snippets, but you get to see some badass things from Diablo.
Okay.
We'll just kind of go there that way, just so you guys don't get too disappointed in his character development.
Before we go into like more characters, because obviously we can go all day about the Demon Lords. So before we get to that. Let's backpedal a little bit to like the beginning of the season 2, part 2. That huge meeting.
Yep.
You know, you have the king from Dwargon. You got that elf dad, whatever his name is, coming in.
Yep, came in as a homunculus.
What'd you guys think about that meeting? That was like a very diplomatic, important meeting.
Oh,
did you guys pick up any like little lessons, anything?
I've seen that whole diplomatic series twice because honestly, the first time I watched it, I was so bored.
Really?
It was just so much talking and not enough action. But that's why I had to watch it twice, so I can pick up on like important details that should have been said. Like I know that they were planning ahead and all that fun stuff.
Yep.
But it was very diplomatic. Yeah, so they were introducing Veldora into the group. He's
walked in.
Right.
Sure. Matt, what'd you think?
I thought it was really important just because as far as Rimuru is concerned, his whole life is based around Tempest.
Mm-hmm.
So we get to see some of his basically political skills in the first season and a little bit in the second season. And now you get to see it really develop in him becoming a better leader as far as a political leader. Because when you see him talk to the elf dad, instead of doing what he did to Dwargo, where he just kind of was like super hesitant and not completely sure of himself, when the elf dad basically tried to get a feel of how Rimuru was, is when he bumped up his energy, his magicules, like super high as Demon Lord powers, and kind of tried to intimidate him. And when it came to building the road, he was completely sure of himself, like, hey, we'll do this and this, and basically that's how it's going to be. And so the only option the elf dad had...
Let us negotiate our tolls.
And that was it. Like, if this was the beginning Rimuru probably would have just been like, oh, I'll do it for free and call it a day. Because that's basically what he did with Dwargon.
Well, it wasn't...
Dwargo,
there was some kind of wine deal in the mix, too. Like, there needed to be...
Well, he did it for trading.
The selling of the wine, yeah.
Yeah, and it's... In all actuality, tolls are going to get you a lot more than some food is, especially at that point in time. Because, I mean, the Tempest wasn't that big yet.
Right. And we find out later in that season 2, part 2, that Rimuru probably really didn't even care about money anyway, because he says that he stole all of Clayman's money after destroyed that army and became the Demon Lord. He
got all their treasures.
Yeah. So he was already rich enough.
And
to fund the road making. That was basically the point.
Since I'm now caught up, I can give you a little more when it comes to the monetary values that aren't really going to add anything to the story, so I can tell you guys without spoiling it. But I'll tell you guys that later.
Okay.
And it's nice to see Rimuru's progression. What about you, Ricky?
The meeting was awesome, man. I definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I know it's very political. I'm not a big fan of the whole politics thing, but like I said before in the original episode, that it shows you like the beginning of a nation.
Right.
So, and then they were also teaching them how to be like proper and etiquette and all that. I enjoyed it. Nice little valuable lessons here and there if you like translate it the way you want to translate it. But like I said, most people would have thought it was boring. I enjoyed everything. I like how everything was brought up and how everybody was so formal in the meeting that, I don't know, that's just my opinion. But I think it was pretty valuable.
It was nice, and it's not like they probably could have spent like 4 episodes doing this, and it was 2?
Yeah.
So
definitely. It was a huge meeting.
You know, so that wasn't too bad that they got the important parts out of the way, but didn't put any like extra filler into it. What'd you guys think of when Valdora came back? Like what he was doing? Did you guys get that reference?
When he came back,
and Rimuru was like, "Hey, you can't be this super. Your aura. You have to calm down your aura, or everybody's gonna
suck it in."
Yeah,
the second. Oh yeah, and then that confused me because he pulls like a Dragon Ball Z power up thing, but it does the opposite. Like it looked like he was charging up, where Goku would explode more power, but with Veldora, he was sucking it in. I don't know. It threw me through a loop because he should have been like relaxing, but instead he was just going all crazy. That's just my take on it.
I thought all that shit was hilarious because they were referring everything to manga. He's been in Rimuru just reading manga.
Yeah.
Man, they had so many shout outs. I think I named a couple. Street Fighter, DBZ, Naruto.
Okay, I'm so glad because what was it, episode like 35, 36 that he's just Hadouken. I fucking burst out laughing so hard. I'm surprised then obviously got the okay to do that, but he's just, and then Kamehameha on top of that, like, dude, pulling out all these super top tier name attacks, and then he's just casually shooting them out.
Oh, that's episode 47 when he's fighting Maline.
Yeah.
All right, the second to last episode.
Yeah. Because he did the Street Fighter moves. He had some DBZ moves. He had a couple Naruto moves in there. Yeah.
Oh man, I appreciated that so much.
But like it was, I don't know if it was just in my head. I was pretty fucked on when I was watching this, but I can just picture like the scene, like almost like a news reporter, like talking to the camera, and just in the background I can see Malim and Eldora going at it. Shit.
Yeah, I would like to see more of that because two top tier dragons fighting it out.
Oh yeah, that'd be
that's so his badass. Niece, isn't it?
Yeah, it's his niece. It's like, I don't remember the exact.
It's
like his brother's
daughter,
youngest daughter, or something along those lines. But I think at one point they mentioned like the youngest or oldest or something. So there should be more dragon.
Yeah, because that one ice dragon with Crimson with Guy.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's his sister.
Yep. Yeah, that's right.
And
then one that was the 2 different colored eyes that was concealing herself. Wasn't she a dragon?
Yeah.
Or was that
no? She's a
the vampire.
Okay.
She's a
vampire. Oh yeah. Yeah, because
Luminous or something.
That one guy was pretending to be the Demon Lord, right?
Yeah, that one, Luminous.
The one that was almost killed Laplace.
Luis Valentin. He was the Valentine. Sorry, the pseudo Demon Lord. Mm. And then Valdora's like, "Hey, what's your subordinate doing saying this bullshit?" And she's like, "Are you really? This is what we're doing right now?" Kind of. And
I like how they said, "Well, to be fair, I didn't know this was a secret."
Did you guys? I can't remember what Valdora calls mangas in the anime. Does he call it anything?
He calls it manga.
Okay, so in the manga, they call it the sacred text.
Oh, really? Well, he treats them as sacred texts because he copies everything.
So that's even. I kind of thought that was a better way to say it, just because it's like you said, he treats it like they're sacred texts, and then he gets all upset when Reimer's like, "You better listen to me, or I'm going to spoil it."
I love that he did that too. Hey, that's a way to get his attention. How to control someone like considered fucking badasses. How. Yeah, he controls everybody like that. Like, not to say that he controls, but he, like, tames. How about that? Yeah. Like, Malim, what was it? Some food? Honey. He tamed Malim with honey, and then he's taming Valdora with manga.
Yeah.
So funny. Matt, who did you say Valdora sounded like?
So...
Talking about voice actors and...
Yeah.
Earlier, before we started this.
The thing that caught me, and I wanted to look into it, was when Valdora laughs. He sounds 100% like Hercule or Mr. Satan from Dragon Ball Z. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you guys caught that, but his laugh gives it away.
Yep.
And it's just hilarious. And then I looked into it, and yep, they're the same guy. He's actually in a few other things, but that's definitely the biggest one is in Mr. Satan. And I thought that was hilarious. So funny.
So we got Agumon, not the real Agumon. We got fake Deadpool. And we got Hercule from Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Cool.
They got a lot of voice actors in this one. Granted, there's so many characters in this show. It's insane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Cool.
Got another character I'd like to talk about. We talk about Laplace. Just the Harley Quinn clowns in general.
Okay.
I'm interested in all 3 of them because they all seem like they're badass. More specifically Laplace, because after he found out Clayman was dead, all of a sudden, like, he quit, quote-unquote, like, acting, and then all of a sudden he became a badass.
Yeah, that was...
So I'm super interested in Laplace now.
Yeah, because when he finds out that Clayman's dead, his demeanor instantly changes from kind of joking around like a clown to being completely serious, and then instantly rips out
the angel dude, or the holy
Luis Valentine's heart.
Oh,
they call it his core in the manga. They call it his heart.
Oh, did they?
Either still, it's his lifeline.
Yeah,
gets ripped out, and it'll be interesting to see what the other 3 clown turn into, and then was it Tyr and Footman?
Something about a foot.
They were able to Footman. Yep, they were able to keep Fabio. Is it Fabio? The guy who and Geld. They were able to keep them in check, and I mean Geld is super strong. So in order being able to basically kick their ass, and the only reason why they didn't die was because
they didn't order them to.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So if they were able to, granted, I don't know how strong Geld is compared to like Benimaru.
I felt Geld was real strong before part 2. Mm-hmm. Like, he had that huge power up during that army scene.
Yeah, and then he's just kind of.
And then in that fight, he kind of just like pussied out. I don't know. I feel like he didn't go to his potential.
Or that just means how strong Footman and Tyr are.
That's
like in all actuality, they could just be that strong.
Yeah, that's probably the route that they were trying to show.
Yep. What about you, Ricky? You looking forward to seeing what's happening to them? And then, I mean, there's also those subplots the manipulation behind the scenes that you see them doing.
Mm-hmm. No, they're interesting. They're very intriguing characters. I want to see what the fuck they really look like
under the mask.
Under the mask.
Uh-huh. Okay, that's true.
I'm not saying they're human, but they have human forms. Uh-huh. So I really want to see what they look like, and I'd like to know their backstory.
Yeah,
I'm a huge backstory dude.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I mean, you get a little bit of it because you see them...
Clayman's backstory.
Through his backstory, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, you get a start of it, which will be just kind of nice. Mm-hmm. because they're not just there. You can see how much they actually mean to Clayman, and Clayman doesn't care about anything but himself. So
For real, man. And he's the weakest out of all of them.
Right.
yeah, it's crazy. And then I'm also
Well, we can't say he was the weakest because Harpy said that she would have definitely been beaten by him.
well out of the clown troupe, he was the weakest. So out of Laplace, Footman,
and Tyr.
Oh, you guys think Clayman was weaker than all the clowns?
They knew
Yeah.
he was.
Oh,
Yeah,
they knew?
He knew he was.
Oh.
They mentioned it in the anime.
Damn,
Yeah.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, bro.
Yep. Basically,
He's
they
weaker.
were looking out for Clayman, but Clayman was the
face of the operation.
Yeah, that's a good way of saying it.
and he was the best at manipulating people,
Mm-hmm.
while the other three were basically good foot soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they like Clayman. Well, Kazarim made Clayman essentially the pseudo head of the clown troupe.
Mhm.
Right. Because Kazarim
Yeah.
is still in the process of gaining all of his power back because he needs to be reawakened yet.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what's going on with that. And that kid-looking guy who was the one that revived him. What's that kid's name again?
Yumi?
You something. That sounds familiar. I didn't write that name down, but it's also not on this character list that I'm looking at. But I am really excited to see what's going on with him because if he's the one that's given all these orders that, Rimuru was asking about.
It's Yuki.
Yuki.
So do you guys remember who he is?
Yeah, he was I kind of, just to break it simple, like the principal of that one school where the kids were, kind of thing.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the easiest way to remember who he is.
Oh yeah, I forgot. The kids weren't even part of
Yeah.
season 2 part
I was
2.
about to bring that up because I remember you saying that you really wanted to see the kids.
Yeah, they
They didn't see them
they
at
have
all.
so much potential. You don't see them until like the very, very final credit scene of episode 48?
Yeah, and that's a
And then
credit
they're in
scene.
class, and it's a credit scene. Like what?
Yeah, you don't even get a little glimpse of them, nothing.
I will tell you guys right now that the very end of 48 is not, I don't want to call it non-canon, but it's not canon. Like, it was just a recap, like a kind of a recap thing. So in the manga, they just keep going past the end of Walpurgis, but in the anime, because it's the end of the season, they kind of do a pseudo,
Like a
this
light
is-
ending?
Yeah.
So like when the whole episode 48 was like Octogram or whatever it was called.
Yep.
Naming the new 8 demon lords. Was that not part of the manga then?
No, that is part of the manga, but it's just instead of Rimuru coming back to Tempest and
Oh, that
being
part
the end of it,
Uh-huh.
they basically they dive more into the story.
Okay.
But that makes a good break point for the season, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For as far as anime goes, yeah, you need a light end.
Yeah.
That's also a cliffhanger, but it's not like too dramatic or like you
Yep.
get angry.
Yeah, exactly. You're not leaving. It'd be different if this was season 2, part 1. You could leave it on a big cliffhanger because it's going to be a couple months until the next part comes out. But when it could be a year or so until season 3 comes out, yeah, you don't want to leave anything too dramatic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so that part is, it was a good ending as far as making the season be done with. Anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I forget that we were doing like part 2 of season 2.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh shit, season 2 is a short season.
Yeah.
No, in all reality, it's what? 20 some episodes?
Still 24 episodes.
24, 23, something like that, yeah. But yeah, for season 2, part 2, we only covered 12 of these episodes.
12
Yeah.
episodes, yep.
37 to 48 or 36 to 48?
37 to 48.
Yep.
Right after episode 36.5, which was that recap episode.
And that's
Oh, they didn't even, like, we didn't see Ifrit at all.
Nope.
So-
Did he get destroyed?
No.
By what's her name? What's
Uh,
that chick's name? She's badass.
Sukuna?
Is it Sukuna? So
You talking about Shizu? No,
No.
Shizu.
but it was her disciple, Hinata.
Hinata. There it is.
go.
Yeah, she was talked about, and then in that final episode with Laplace running away from her, I want to see more of her too.
So, what do you guys think of that? I've got a little bit into that, but what do you guys think of that? So,
What,
she was at the church, but then you guys remember that Luis, the vampire who was at the church.
Uh-huh.
What do you guys think of that? Like, why is Hinata the basically the superhero that hates all monsters in the same temple as a vampire. Don't you guys think that's kind of weird?
I thought something was up. I just don't know. Like I know where you're trying to get at, but I thought something was up. I just don't know what.
I don't even know how to guess what's going to happen out of this.
So a little bit of a
spoiler.
Not a spoiler, but just something to think about. Do you guys remember what the girl vampire's name was?
Luminous?
Luminous, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember what the religion is called?
The vampire religion?
The religion that... So the reason why the humans attacked Tempest, their pseudo reason, not the reason because of the king didn't like that Tempest was there taking all their money, but the reason they said was because of their religion. Do you guys remember what that religion was?
I don't think so. Yeah, go
It was Lumini, Lumini.
Okay.
Doesn't that sound kind of familiar? Luminous and Lumini.
Yeah.
So that's something to think about. We'll just put it that way.
Okay, I was gonna say, because you're talking to two people at 9 o'clock in the morning drinking Bloody Marys, and we went out last night. We're not catching up with you, Matt.
Yeah. So just something to think about. So you have the vampire that's in basically the holy sanctum, so the center of the church where Laplace, so when Laplace goes there the first time and gets almost killed.
By that red beam. They made emphasis on that red beam. I don't remember.
It was
like blood. It was almost like a blood art.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
Yep, exactly.
Or if it was a red beam, then it was a vampire deal. And I think that's the angle that they were working with.
Yeah, that's kind of, so they have a demon lord because nobody knows that it's Luminous, that's actually the true demon lord. So the fake demon lord is at the center of the church that hates demons, that hates monsters. So that was something in the anime that the second time I watched it, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. That's kind of weird. Like that's something that you might want to look into.
Yeah, for real.
And then you find out that the true demon lord is Luminous, so it's just something to kind of be mindful of. And then Hinata is also following this religion, so it's something to think about. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Granted, I already know what happens.
Right. You're caught up on manga.
I am caught up on the manga, which it wasn't too much, but I can go into that a little bit later. And yeah, it's definitely something to kind of think about, like, especially for when season 3 comes around.
Yeah, you can definitely expect that one to be explained.
Yeah, and I'm trying to remember. So Rimuru talks about how he wants to talk to the other demon lords, correct? At the end of Walpurgis, but then everybody kind of leaves, and he's like, "Oh, well, I guess I'm not talking to anybody." Does that happen in the anime? I don't remember. I'm drawing a blank.
I thought Walpurgis was the original name of all the demon lords.
So
the Great Ten.
Walpurgis is the name of the meeting for the demon lords.
Oh, I thought it was what they called themselves.
No,
they call themselves the Great Ten or something like that. The Great Ten demon lords. I thought Walpurgis was the location. How about that?
That's what I thought.
So Walpurgis is
not the location, but that's the meeting, the name of the meeting.
Yeah, that's just the name of the meeting. Right. Is Walpurgis.
Because there's no location. There's just a made up.
It's
realm.
a pseudo space. Yeah.
Because there's the badass star scene in the background, and just somewhere in space and time. And
I think Yi is the one that makes this space. Just kind of this has nothing to do with anything I've read. It was just because of how strong he is and all these other things. I thought he made this space. Just because they do have to teleport there. Mm-hmm. And then they talk about how the Dryad, it starts with
Tyranny or something like
Tyranny, yeah. Ramiris is concerned, well, not really concerned, but doesn't know if she can go with her because it might be in a pseudo space that she can't teleport to, so that's why she gets her body. And so that was why I thought that this was Guy's space, something that he can actually create. Yeah. It was just a thought though. So just kind of going with everything. Do you guys have a favorite fight?
Favorite fight? For comedy, my favorite fight was definitely Veldora versus Malim. Okay. Just because that was just so much fun.
Yeah, I could probably watch that one a handful more times and never get sick of it.
But then for seriousness, I would probably choose Rimuru versus Malim. Okay. Just because I liked the quickness of thought, how quick you can see Malim is. I don't know, there wasn't super awesome animation, like super blasts or anything like that. But it was just a good fight in general. Yeah. What about you, Ricky?
It wasn't really, Not really a fight, but my favorite was the battle where everything was planned out, everything was executed how it was supposed to be, and it was just, they dominated that shit. So that was my favorite, just to see everything come together like it's supposed to be. Matt?
One would be when Rimuru like actually gets serious with Clayman and turns into his kind of super badass self.
That Snapchat I sent you guys the other day. I'm like, oh my god! I wanted to just take an actual screenshot and make that like a wallpaper or something. That was a beautifully drawn little segment.
And then it's definitely a toss up between the two that you guys mentioned, the Malim and Valdora fight, just because of the Kamehameha and the Hadouken. Just hilarious.
Just when Valdora just says Hadouken like 5 times in a row, like, God, that was so goddamn funny. I cannot get that out of my head.
What'd you guys think of when he just kind of teleported there?
Oh, he just randomly shows up, takes a punch to the back of his head for more manga.
For more manga. That's all he wanted.
He was left on a cliffhanger, so he wanted to find out what happens next.
Like, he wasn't there to save Rimuru or nothing. He just wanted more manga.
Yeah, that was funny.
No, man, it was hilarious. It was great. But was Rimuru going to get hurt if Valdora wasn't there? Like, did he save him?
Would Malim have held back enough not to kill Rimuru if Valdora wasn't there? Is that what you're getting at?
Oh, I guess it was Malim.
Yeah, it was Malim.
I can't remember who it was. Okay.
But she was still acting possessed, so, I mean, she did take out all of Carrion's, like, capital.
Yeah.
While acting, so
and she's not even sorry about it.
Yeah. So you do that on purpose?
I was being controlled? What are you talking about? We know you weren't controlled. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and because I watched it with subtitles on in English, they say blowing raspberries. So I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was that part was funny, and then specifically the Benimaru action in the war, just because he's definitely one of my favorites. Mm-hmm. Do you guys, of all of the demon lords, who interest you guys the most? The ones that you met?
You already know, bro. Well, I'm pretty sure you know mine.
Guy?
No.
Oh man, I was gonna go with Guy. Guy definitely has my interest.
Yeah. Oh, I like him a lot. Definitely. And I was thinking about the sleeping guy.
Oh, the sleeping guy, yeah.
Because I heard, they were saying that he's pretty powerful.
Dino.
Yeah.
Dino, the fallen angel, the sleepy one.
They were saying that he's pretty powerful.
Mm-hmm.
So, but he was just sleeping.
Yeah,
I don't know
he didn't
shit
care
about him.
Right? Yeah, he didn't show anything other than he was just bored of being there.
He reminds me of another Benimaru from Fire Force.
Oh, yeah.
I can see that. Yeah, it's just, is he sleepy / lazy because he's just that powerful, or is that just his personality? And I can see that. But then they talk about how Romulus and Dino have the same, like, similar, it's like, now I get why you two are friends, because they have similar personalities. Like, they just don't take anything serious.
Oh, that's serious. I was going to say, because Romulus is like that uppity, high-spirited girl, and then Dino is just sitting there, like, acting like he's bored out of his mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, talking shit to her like, oh, you're smaller than the last time I saw you.
Yeah.
Lance, what about you?
Yeah, Guy is definitely of my top interest. He'd be my favorite. Maline would be my second favorite, but we don't need to talk about her much, really. One that I think won't get much talk out of is Dragul, the Titan / giant guy. I'm only bringing him up because I feel like he's not going to get enough attention, but I really don't know what else to say. Like, the Earth, they gave him like an Earth Titan or something. I don't remember. But I do want to see more of him because I want all of these demon lords to redeem themselves and just show how badass they can be.
Well, they did talk about how of all the demon lords, he was the one that could keep up with Valdora the most.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that being said, I definitely want to see more.
So Reamer was like, no wonder why he remembers him of all the other demon lords, because he was the one that gave Valdora the most trouble, I guess is a good way to say it.
I could taste that, Ricky.
What?
It's your burp. Oh my god.
I'll try to blow it that way.
Well, I taste apple out of nowhere. And I'm like, okay, that's a little gross.
My bad. I'm trying to blow it to the right side.
Oh, that's alright.
I freshened up your breath.
It's definitely, I agree with all those. So, one thing I'll mention from the manga is you find out that Guy is a primordial demon. So he is Diablo, but stronger. So him and Diablo are the same.
Ooh, interesting.
So,
but he can change forms, right?
Guy. Yeah, because they said, because in that There was that one episode was like, I could take on a female form and we can go
all night if you'll be happy with that. It's like, shut up. And that'll be interesting. So he's actually, they called him Crimson before he got his name. So I'm curious to see
who named him.
Yeah, who named him and who was strong enough to give him a name, or did he just name himself? Like, did he get that strong where he just named himself and that was?
Or he could have been named and then taken the Demon Lord status, and he just got stronger through there.
Or maybe there's a reason why they spell it Guy, because it's not really a name. Maybe just call him Guy. I don't know.
Hey, Guy.
I'm just talking shit.
Like South Park. Hey, Guy.
Oh, and I mean, you found out that they had to have Walpurgis numerous times to even come up with their Demon Lord name, so maybe they're really terrible with names.
Yeah, their lives are so boring because they're so powerful.
What do you guys think of the name? Octagram.
I thought it was interesting.
I saw Graham, and I instantly thought, like, satanic. Like, what? I don't know, that's just where my mind went, at least. Octagram, I don't think it sounds badass. It doesn't sound cool enough to me.
And the 10 Demon Lords is badass?
No, that was... It's a step up from the 10 Great Demon Lords or anything like that, but...
Baby steps.
I mean, you can give him a little bit of benefit of the doubt because he literally came up with that within like 10 seconds.
Yep.
Anime-wise, but...
Oh no, it was instant because if you guys remember, Guy was like, "You're gonna come up with the name," and
he just split the table in two.
Split the table, walked up to him, and was like, "You're doing this." He's like, "All right, well, I guess I'm doing this now."
Yeah,
that'll be something really cool to see, is if we find any more of the primordial demons. Or find out who all are the primordial demons.
Yeah, dude, we don't even know if there's like a cap limit on that, huh?
No.
Because we know that there was three of them when Rimuru was on his deathbed, and Black was one of them, right?
So Black was the only primordial, and then the lesser demon, I don't even know if they were lesser demons, but lesser than Diablo.
Right.
They were his henchmen.
Okay.
And
yeah, then there was that. Well, I don't think they really explained in that OVA prior where Black was helping. I was about to say Shuvi. What's her name?
Are you talking about
Shizu?
Shizu? Okay.
In that OVA where he helped Shizu.
Well, that was and I think they reference the maids or the secretaries or whatever they are of Guy as being like. There's a quick snippet, like if you don't catch it, if you don't know about it, you're probably not going to catch it. Being like, oh, he's you're Black. It talks about Black, and I think the maids of Guy were primordial demons as well.
Yeah, at this point, I'd have to rewatch that part and see it again.
Yeah, it's when Rimuru is getting to Walpurgis. It's a very quick like snippet. It's like a one-liner kind of thing. So but that's a me inferring thing. I'm not 100% sure. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Diablo and then the other primordials, because we already know Diablo is super strong. Mm-hmm. So
we know Crimson is probably the strongest Demon Lord.
Yep. Well, speaking of strong Demon Lords, who do you think is stronger, Guy or Malim or Valdora? Of those three, who do you think is probably the strongest?
You want to put Dino in there? They were talking about him like he was pretty powerful.
Okay, so all the Demon Lords. Who do you think is the strongest out of all the Demon Lords, including Valdora? We'll go with that one.
Yeah, at this point, why isn't Valdora a Demon Lord? I mean, I know he's just one of the great dragons, but... I don't know if dragons can become Demon Lords, or want to be Demon Lords, if that makes sense, because his sister isn't a Demon Lord. Right.
And I just think that's not something that they want to do. Or want to be, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah, they're not going to care enough. But back to the most powerful. Just at this point, I can't imagine anyone topping Guy.
Okay.
So I would put Guy as number 1. And then if we're throwing Valdora into this mix, I'd put Valdora as number 2, Malim as number 3, and then I would say the sleepy one as number 4, only because Valdora said he was a good battle, but he wasn't stronger. So I'd probably put him 4th on all that. So that'd be my list.
Wait, he fought Dino?
Well, I think you said something along the lines of how he would be a good match.
Yeah, but he's never fought him.
Maybe they've never fought, but I think there was just...
I don't know. Just that Dino, I don't know. He sparks my curiosity. Mm-hmm. Just because we don't know shit about him, but I do remember them mentioning that he's very powerful.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's ever fought him.
True. But at this point, I couldn't imagine him being stronger than the dragons.
Yeah, and I keep on getting thrown off by the dragon's power. Like, they're always talking about, like, Valdora especially, they're always talking about how powerful he is. Like, but you have all these strong-ass demon lords, and some of them are still scared of him. So,
yeah,
like,
exactly.
So, like, his power is, like, up there, somewhere, in between them.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. I think Guy is definitely the strongest as of now.
I want to see more dragons. So I don't remember if we talked about it when we recorded the last episode, but wasn't there like a total of like 4 great dragons or something along those lines?
I don't remember.
I feel like something was mentioned.
Because you got the lightning, which is Veldora.
I think he's the wind.
Thunder, whatever. Is it wind?
Yeah, Veldora is considered the wind dragon.
Is it?
I can
Well,
look
then
that
his
up.
sister's the ice,
Yep.
or whatever. And then, what else do you got?
They
Is that
call
all we
him.
know
That's all we
so
know.
far?
I mean, Malim's like
They call him the Storm
half-
Dragon.
Storm.
Storm Dragon.
There we go. Yeah, that's all we know as far as dragons.
Yeah.
I just for some
I
part,
wouldn't mind seeing more dragons.
yeah.
That would be cool. So, Ricky, who do you think's going to be the strongest of all the demon lords, including Valdor?
I kind of agree with Lance. I think Guy's the strongest. Veldora, like I was telling Lance, he just kind of, I don't know, he kind of throws me off. Like I know he's powerful. It's just I don't know what scale he's at.
Okay.
And Malim and Dino, to be honest, I think Dino's stronger just because we don't know about him.
Okay.
Malim, we've seen a lot.
Right, that's a fair point. Yeah, we can probably say like he's gonna be a strong match.
You got any insight on that, Matt?
Nope. No insights. Just because they haven't really gone too far into it. It's just kind of a inferred thing at this point. So you guys think that Rimuru's what, 5th, or do you think that he's probably one of the weaker ones? Granted, 5th is technically the weaker half because that would be bottom half of the 8.
I definitely think he's strong. He's very powerful. It's just he's not. I feel like he's gonna be stronger than everybody else.
Right.
He's not there yet.
I think eventually he'll go toe to toe with Guy.
Mm-hmm.
But
He's not there yet.
yeah, he's not there yet.
He's definitely not in the top 4.
Okay.
Yeah, because he was struggling hardcore with that fight with Malim.
Was he struggling because he wasn't taking it serious, or do you think he was struggling just because he's not as strong as Malim?
I don't think he's
Well,
strong.
I don't think he was strong because he was using that, I don't remember what they call it, but like that ultra fast thinking technique. And even that was too slow to counter Malim.
And you gotta imagine Malim was holding back.
So I think
To a
Malim still
certain
got him.
degree.
To a certain degree, right.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Yeah, I'm curious to see what'll happen and how everybody ranks up. We might not ever find out, to be completely honest, just because it depends on how they take the show,
Right.
take the anime. Granted, it is a light novel. No offense to you guys, but I'm not reading the light novel.
That's fine. That's even more reading. And that's probably not going to be part of Crunchyroll. Are you reading all your manga off of Crunchy, or you just find it wherever you can find it?
Just depends, really.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have to. It depends on what we're reading.
All right.
So anything you guys was there anything that surprised you guys in the part 2 of season 2? Besides Malim not actually being controlled.
Claiming being that weak.
Yeah, that's a big surprise.
Extremely weak.
Mm-hmm. So just the scaling in which.
Yeah. They definitely they just throw you off because they, like I said, they talk about how powerful he is and what he's all done, and Rimuru just bitch slaps him and it's done.
Yes, that is true. And
Lance,
I wouldn't put too much emphasis on surprised, but Rimuru finally comes face to face with Leon Cromwell, who, Rimuru has a special place on his heart for Shizu, and Cromwell is the one that brought her and, tortured. I don't know. But finally comes face to face with wanting to take care of Leon, and he doesn't do anything. Like he says, "I want to slug you" or something along those lines. But that's as far as that goes. Like he doesn't bring too much attention to this, and then they leave the meeting. I don't know. I wanted to see more of that.
now that you brought him up, we heard a lot about him, obviously, but this is the most screen time that we've seen him. What do you guys think about Leon?
He had a carefree kind of attitude about everything, and he didn't care. I think he's got that ultimate plan. He's got some kind of plan in motion for, because he wanted to do more summonings. He made that one comment.
Yep.
So he's got something in mind for something that I'm not understanding at this moment.
Yeah, that was the only time they even mentioned the kids is when he talks about how his summoning or basically using of the kids was thwarted because of Rimuru. And that's when Guy, really got that interested in Rimuru, was because he's like, oh, it can't be a coincidence.
Yeah. Yep.
So that'll be interesting. Something else that Cromwell talks about, or Guy talks about, is while they're Leon and Guy, is how Cromwell was originally human. So I'm interested to see.
Oh yeah, because they call him a demonoid, or that's
demonoid.
his title.
Cromwell's, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, before we get too much further, make a quick little beer break.
All right, we can get some more Bloody Marys in real fast.
All right, now.
BEERRUN beer run.
We are back from our beer run. Where did we leave off?
Get more beer.
I mean, we kind of. Is there anything you guys are looking forward to the most for season 3?
I mean, now that we got nice introductions to all these demon lords, definitely gonna want to see more of their stuff. Like, I know Ricky, you're gonna say that you want to see more of the backstory on Dino, and I think I can agree hardcore with that one. I definitely want to see more on Dino.
I just want to know what he's about, man. Like, why is he a demon lord? Because his personality that he has right now, I just don't see him slaughtering people. Or, you don't necessarily have to slaughter people, but still.
Well, I think you needed that 20,000 kill count to be a demon lord, right? That's part of the...
To be an awakened.
To awaken the seed? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, that's right. To be awakened. Yeah, because some of them just... Leon... He straight up stole the title. That's what he said. Like, he killed someone.
Well, he
claimed his title. He doesn't care if he's a quote-unquote demon lord or not.
He killed Kazarim. He's the one that killed Kazarim. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, they talk about he defeated him and he was like, I don't give a shit if he's alive or dead. I took his title and that's all I care about. That was basically what he said.
I wonder, how would he defeat him if he's like the weakest and Kazarim's supposed to be super strong?
Not Clayman, Cromwell. So Leon Cromwell, the demonoid.
Oh, okay.
Because Clayman and Kazarim are in cahoots with each other. They're in
the modern Harley Quinn something.
The clown
group.
Troop.
Mm-hmm.
Throop? THROUP. I'm terrible with words.
I wouldn't even gone. I wouldn't have known.
That is my second language.
That's what they all say. And so they're actually in cahoots with each other. So Cromwell is the one that killed Kazarim, but Kazarim is they talked about it at the end of chapter 48 or 47 where
the curse demon.
Yeah. So if his spiritual being is not destroyed, he can come back.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what Clayman was planning on doing. And Reamer was like, I already see through your plan. I'm going to devour you completely. Now die. And then he devoured him. So was Beelzebub the ability to swallow something and then copy that ability? So
I don't remember what that one was called anymore.
Wasn't that Predator?
Predator.
So I think it's an evolved skill of Predator.
Ooh, that could be it too.
Because when he turned, I'm pretty sure that's what it was. So he can anything he devours, he can do whatever he wants to it.
So you can store it / copy it.
So that's one thing you don't see in the anime is the actual banquet for Walpurgis. So they go over, they basically like, oh, okay, well now Walpurgis is done and Rimuru goes back. One of the things that happens is they have a banquet and they have all these delicious foods. And as Rimuru is eating them, Raphael's like, oh, I've got these recipes copied. You can make them. And because Rimuru's like, oh man, I want to keep eating this. And then Raphael comes in. He's like, well, we can make these now. It's like, oh, okay, cool.
Oh, it's a little surprising they went that route because Shion was with them and she's the cook. Why didn't she just cook for everybody then?
Well, she can cook those foods with his recipes.
Right.
So. Presentation still matters, Lance.
Right.
Yeah, that's...
You don't want to scare a shit ton of demon lords. Or like make them think you're trying to poison them and shit.
Well, that and it's Guy's... I think it's Guy's pseudo space, so his maids and everything, like it's his area. Mm-hmm. So he's going to be the one that's taking care of everything.
Yeah.
He's the host.
Yeah. And yeah, that'll be kind of cool. So I think that's what Beelzebub does.
Now that you bring that up, I just remembered. So the reason I think that Rimuru is going to get up there and probably surpass Guy is because Guy was impressed on how fast Rimuru learned his ability to put up that barrier.
Yep.
So I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a quick, like...
Yeah, he just did that. He didn't, absorb anything either.
No. Raphael probably was like, oh, okay, this is what this is, and was able... Because he was able to make that barrier, the double barrier to entrap the souls.
Uh-huh. That was Rimuru.
Oh, no, you're right. That was Shuna. Shuna
and that one girl.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's going to be, now that he's become a true Demon Lord, I think he's going to be able to adapt skills even faster. And they talk about how he has 4 ultimate skills now.
Right.
So I think he'll be able to keep stacking ultimate skills. He's just going to be super OP.
Yeah.
I think that's what's going to happen eventually. At least the nice thing is yes, they're making him overly strong, but they're like, he might be strong, but that's only compared to the people he's met at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're still stronger yet. And he's not stronger than the strongest.
And I mean, he was still able to get defeated by Hinata, even though he seemed way overpowerful at that point.
Right.
So it's nice for him to be super strong and then be like, yeah, hold on, take a step back. He might be strong, but he's not quite that strong. And I mean, like what you guys were saying, how you think he's the 5th strongest person in the group.
Mm-hmm. At the moment.
Yeah. What's up, Ricky?
So we had this video playing. Episode 41 just popped up. We kind of skipped over the fingers.
Okay.
So we met the middle finger and we met the index finger. What I wanted to ask you guys, what did you guys think about middle finger and how his demise ended up? Like, I was kind of looking forward to knowing him a little bit more.
Right.
The middle finger is is he the skeleton guy?
No, he's the ice sword guy.
Oh, apparently he's nothing.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, these fingers were given this type. I don't know. They made them seem like they were going to be powerful, and then they didn't have too much to show. The fight with the middle finger, Yamza, I think that was his name, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
It didn't leave an impression on me. Like, I don't even remember too much about this because I was looking forward to him so much that I don't even remember anything.
Well, I mean, it all kind of comes back to how strong they made Clayman seem. Or, yeah, how strong they made him to be. And in all actuality, he wasn't strong at all. He was probably the weakest of the Demon Lords. And even really, he probably shouldn't have even been recognized as a Demon Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like, he was just that weak. Granted, Frey and Carrion were...
Stepped down.
Yeah, stepped down.
Well, Carrion stepped down out of, like, some form of respect. Like, he didn't want...
Well, he lost to Malim, so he's like, well,
yeah.
I can't even, like, hold a candle to Malim, so...
Mm.
I'm not strong enough to be a Demon Lord. And Frey was like, well, I couldn't have beaten Clayman as he was to begin with, so I'm not strong enough to be a Demon Lord either. So, yeah, I think that might be something to watch. It's just how strong all these Demon Lords are. But I guess I don't know. But I know what you're saying. It's like you think the fingers are going to be all this strong, and then you come to find out that Clayman's super weak. And these, besides the skeleton guy, I can't remember his name. What is it?
Alderman.
Yeah. He was technically only strong because he couldn't die. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of a... You
think him giving up like that? You think that's like a ruse?
No, I think it's
genuine.
Legitimate. Yeah,
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, because he was.
Because what I've noticed about this world,
his crown got destroyed or something.
What I've noticed about this world is like what your word is bond basically.
Yeah.
So like if you give up, you're giving up. There's no trickery or shit like that.
Except Malim.
Well, Malim and the middle finger.
Yanusa or
Yamza.
Crap, I forgot.
the forgetful ice guy.
Yeah.
But I mean, he was super weak anyway. So I guess it's not really a big deal. So when the powerful people actually give up, I feel like they do.
Right.
And it'll be. Yeah, I'm not getting too wrapped up in the fingers. I'm interested to see who the other 2 fingers of Clayman are.
That was gonna be my next comment.
Are there 2?
Yeah, because what's her name? The one where it starts with an M.
Well, I only remember seeing 2.
Murin. He kills Murin.
Was she a finger?
She was a finger.
I didn't know that.
So
yeah, Rimuru used that person as like some form of basis towards. I don't know how to say what I'm saying, but Rimuru used that person to prove that Clayman was a liar.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that person's not dead, that person's alive, and here's that person's testimony. Something along those lines, right?
Basically, so he does technically kill her, if you guys remember, because Clayman basically remade her heart. Like, he had her heart. So when Rimuru kills her heart disappeared.
Oh, yes. He does that quick little instant swap deal.
Yeah. So he does
Gives
technically
her a
kill her.
fake heart, yeah.
And he was like, well, no, actually, she's right there. Because it's when Ramirez comes around and then everybody's like, and just kind of looks at her like, no.
So that she was considered a finger?
She was technically a finger, but she was she was the, Oni, not an Oni, but she was a,
Majin?
A Majin. Yeah, that's...
I'm saying Oni's a demon.
And so she was able to make that super powerful barrier.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then she falls for Yom. Yeah, Yom.
Yeah, that's right.
She was a finger. I'm curious to see what happens to the other two fingers now that Clayman's dead, though. That'll be something to see.
Yom was going to be gifted the future city that they're trying to build. So I guess that's...
Farmus.
Yeah, so that's going to be something that we can look forward to.
Yeah.
Back to the political talk.
Yeah, that's when you get to see super badass Diablo. Get to see glimpses of badass Diablo in the manga. And we could talk about that in a little bit now that I've given 2 previews for it. And it'll be nice to see what happens to that when it comes to Yom and seeing if we get to see the change of power and what brings, because that's a human city and that'll be, 2 human cities that Tempest is
Alliance with?
in alliance with.
Dorgon
And this one that's about to be made.
Fall Moose, whatever.
Fall Moose, Far Moose. It's one of those 2. And then technically they're in the third one. It would be a third one then because the one guy that has the guild master.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. The guy, yeah, they called him out in the meeting.
Fuse. And because that's the small nation that they're in alliance with.
Yeah,
and
that's right. That guy kind of bitches his way out of... I feel like he didn't have much standing.
So he does have a lot of standing. So as the guild master, he's technically, according to what they said, he is the second in command. And he takes all of his orders from the king of his country.
Directly.
Bloomin, the Bloomin Kingdom. And he's actually, so he's got a lot of say when it comes to what happens in the country.
Okay, yep.
Because he basically speaks for the king.
Hey, whatever happened to that one merchant guy? Remember from from the original episodes? He seems kind of sketchy. And I know you were talking about him before, Matt. That one merchant.
Let me try and find him. I know what you're talking. I know who you're talking about, but I cannot.
Yeah, we didn't see him at all in the second part of season 2. Not that I picked up.
No, you don't see him. And I mean, honestly, I feel like he's just kind of he's gonna be one of those guys where I don't know if he's gonna come back. Like he's not really.
It's not important.
Beneficial to the story at that point because he's just a merchant and he has no real added benefit to the story in all actuality. I can't find his name. And it'll be interesting to see for sure.
Quick thought that just popped in my head.
What's up?
All the dragons that we see, they made a mention in the anime that they no longer have the ability to turn back into their dragon form.
So those aren't the true dragons. Those are the
Malim's followers.
Yeah, Malim's followers. Midray.
Midray. Oh yeah, that's right. Midray said that he was a descendant of dragons, and he that's right. It was his explanation.
He's a dragon newt, like
Gabiru.
Not Gabiru.
Gabiru's sister.
Yeah, Gabiru. Yeah,
Gabiru is a dragon newt, but he's a weaker form of.
So he's a lizard version of instead of a human form of the dragon newt family.
Yeah, but then he brings up that his sister turned into a human form.
Yeah.
So I say that with the thought in mind of, do you think Valdora or his sister or any will take on a future form of a dragon again?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think they can turn into dragons. Just from the statement where he was like, well, we can't actually turn into dragons. So just from that statement alone, I think they
do you think they'll show that in the anime?
Yeah, they show that in the anime. When he's talking to, who are they battling? They were battling one of the Beastketeers and,
Gabiru.
Gabiru, yeah, he talks about how unlike real true dragons, they can't turn into dragon. They have no ability to turn into a dragon anymore.
So which implements the point that Veldora and his sister can turn back.
Yeah,
right. So that they can. But my question is, will they? And I only say that because I feel as an animator, they'll avoid that as much as possible because I think animating a dragon will be a lot of work on their part. So they'll probably try to...
Not necessarily with the technology we have now. I don't know.
Because
I don't think so.
In the first couple episodes of Reincarnated as a Slime, they show the dragon, but he doesn't do much animating. He's a lot of still pictures and very slight movements, and I think that's because there's a lot going on with the dragon.
He was trapped in the infinite prison.
Right.
So he couldn't really do anything.
Right. I mean, yeah, he couldn't have the ability to do much as it was. But I just feel like I just want to take that angle that animators don't want to animate a dragon as much as possible because it's going to take too much time.
I feel like they'll save it for a certain purpose or a certain plot point, just like the Dragon Ball Z Super Monkey transformation. Whatever, I don't know what it's called.
The great
ape.
Yeah. They won't use it often, but I think they might sprinkle it here and there.
Sure.
Just good. I don't know.
Yeah.
That whole animation thing, I don't think it's that difficult anymore.
It's definitely gotten... I'm sure it's gotten easier through the years. I'm not talking through experience because I don't know shit.
No. We definitely do not know shit.
I'm still having a tough time making pivot stick figure animations. That takes forever.
Well, that's why you go to school for animation.
Right.
And it's going to be... It'll be interesting to see what happens in the future. I'm trying to think. Ricky, is there anything... Well, so we were talking about what we're looking forward to for season 3.
I want to see more of the kids.
Okay.
And more of the kids and more of the Demon Lords. Like all the Demon Lords. Not just a couple here and there.
Yeah. All right. I get that.
And more of the ogres. Benimaru and Zoe.
I think they're just Oni now. I don't think they're ogres anymore.
Oni?
Yeah, I think they're Oni. Because
more of them.
Yep.
They're always a badass group.
I think there's a different name for them. Because Oni means demon.
Yeah.
They were definitely given a different name.
Are they Majin?
No,
Kaijin.
There it is.
Kaijin, there you go. Yeah, I'd like to see more of them. They're just a badass group, especially for fight scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Better fight scenes. Well, not better fight scenes, but more fight scenes.
Yeah, I want to see them just get better, better titles, and
so they evolve into a fair Oni when they get awoken again. That's what happens. So they do evolve for a third time.
Ooh.
But they become disaster class demons at that point, or catastrophe class demons. I know. I'm reading disaster class demons. So Cryptus is a disaster or is a catastrophe class, and then right below that is a disaster class.
So now you bring that up as well. I'd like to see more of that. I feel like it kind of lost its little video game style of introductions, and I'd like to see more of that stuff. Just the little video game animation, the leveling up.
Yep.
Right.
I don't know, part of it.
Yeah, there wasn't any of that in this part 2.
Mm-mm.
No, this was basically Valdora and Walpurgis was what this was focused around.
Yeah. Which is fine, but just don't lose your roots.
I don't think it will. I think it was just this needed to happen.
Get information out there.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Matt? You got any... I mean, I know you're caught up on the manga, but what do you expect out of the anime of season 3?
So I was looking forward to hoping we could talk to Leon Cromwell because he gives Rimuru an invitation to go to his...
Oh yeah, that's right.
So I wanted to see what happened there, and then I wanted to see the continuation of the growth of Tempest. So basically everything that happens along with that was stuff that I was looking forward to because now, I mean, he's a true demon lord. So it's what's going to happen with like the Western Holy Church and all that fun stuff. Mm-hmm. It was going to be... And then was Rimuru and Cromwell going to have a fight? Were they just going to have a talk? And what happened along those lines? And then obviously Diablo, because you don't really get to see him in season 2, part 2.
Right.
Yeah, definitely waiting on him.
They leave us hungry for more.
Yeah. Give you just enough to get a taste, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Well, with all that being said, take this moment and go into Matt's manga moments.
Yeah, we can do that.
NANI?!
It's gonna be a handful of things.
Matt's manga mentions.
Mentions. There we go. That's what it is. Because a couple things. there's a few things that happen. So, in case anybody's reading along, part 2 starts on chapter 72 and then ends on chapter 86. There's kind of a handful of things that happen. So you guys remember Rimuru's ultimate ability? You remember what that was called?
Oh god, there's 4 of them at this point.
It was a combination of the 4 of them. They called it Uriel. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they made mention that in like episode 37.
Yeah.
Which totally glossed over because I don't think they really even did anything about that. So
they call it Covenant King Uriel, and it's a combination of infinite prison, law manipulation, universal barrier, and space domination. And basically, it is a way for everybody to be connected in Rimuru's family. So his family is basically everybody that he's named at this point. So it's
Oh, that's why they can talk to each other.
Yeah.
I remember that. They mentioned that in the first part of season 2.
Oh, yep. Okay. So it's but they just didn't really go into it. So that's how everybody can kind of talk to each other. Basically everybody can kind of get back and forth with each other. They called it a testament of Rimuru's connection with his family, essentially. One thing that was super badass when it comes to Diablo is you find out one of his master abilities is he can manipulate people. Like he can alter their minds and manipulate them. So that's one of the reasons why he was picked to go to Falmouth it was that country that tried taking over Tempest. That was one of the reasons why he went there, was because he is such a great manipulator. And so Rosin, they call him Shino. She calls him Ramen.
Oh yeah, she's taking notes and she couldn't get her shit together.
Yeah. So she calls him Ramen, but Rosin is this master magicule user, and everybody's like, oh my god, I can't believe how easily you defeated him. Because to everybody else, he's like super, super powerful. And to Diablo, he's like this toy. Is essentially. So that's another reason, is because the 3 people are still alive. So it's the king, it's Rosin, and then it was the king's like secretary type person. I'm drawing a blank on his name. But those were the 3 that were still alive. And that screenshot that I showed you guys was them basically bowing down loyalty to Diablo. And Diablo will know exactly what they're thinking and everything that they're doing at all times up to this point. So he's in complete control of these 3 people from Falmouth. And that was because Diablo essentially has the ability to reconstruct the bodies of the individuals. So in the manga, you see him as these super grotesque, like organs and a face is what they turn into, and they're just chilling in a box because Diablo can turn them into whatever he wants. And that's how he tortures / interrogates them.
Damn.
Wow, I wonder if they'll show this in season 3 of any sorts. Well, I mean, this happened supposedly in season 2, but...
This does happen in season 2, but they might put it into season 3 as a...
flashback?
Because they didn't show Diablo doing anything with Falmouth. So they might show it as how Falmouth became in line with Tempest.
Yeah. Okay.
It just might be one of those things that they just change the order to. It's not really spoiling anything because it's not a major plot point. Like, that's not a major plot point. So that was something super, super badass about Diablo, is that he's just this super manipulator of everything. Ramiris, when she first comes to the meeting, she talks about how there's a great war every 500 years, and we're at this 500-year mark. So
is this why she says Tempest will fall?
Nope. That's Walpurgis. So Tempest is going to fall because of Walpurgis, because the Demon Lords are essentially going to destroy Tempest if everything Clayman said was correct, which we know isn't correct. So
okay, so the manga explains a 500-year war
that
is about to start,
is destined to start, which we don't find what this 500-year or every 500-year war is. You do find out about it later, but not in the same timeline as what season 2 happens. So I'm not actually going to tell you guys why.
Yeah.
It's over a cookie.
It could be. Who knows?
It could be something stupid.
Something with Eldora. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, hundreds of years goes by and they can't even come up with a name for themselves, and yeah, might as well start a war over a cookie.
And so that's something that Romulus talks about, and it's really nothing else happens when it comes to that in season 2. It's just something to remember when it comes to season 3, is that they do talk about a great war that happens. So we might see a great war in season 3. Who knows?
Lots of action then.
I did have this written down. There are 7 primordial demons, and Guy is the first one of these 7 primordial demons.
Okay, so we do have a limit, or not a limit, but we do have a contained number.
And he was derived from the great spirit of darkness, and he rules over the dead.
Guy?
Yeah.
Oh, wouldn't have expected that.
That's something I actually forgot about. Guy.
You wrote it down.
It's a good thing I wrote it down. Guy calls Diablo Noir.
That means black, yeah.
So,
I always said Noir. That's how I've always pronounced it, but the way you said it, I'm pretty sure is the real way of saying it.
Noir?
Noir.
Noir? Oh, yeah.
Like, in Spider-Man, there's a Noir
Yeah,
suit. I've always called him the Noir. Spider-Man.
Remember, words are hard, people.
Yeah.
Words are hard.
English sucks.
It's my second language. And I still got that right. Pretty Noir.
Then one difference is in the anime, Malim is wearing a necklace, and in the manga, she's wearing an armband. So that same armband that
Same pendant?
Middle finger hat?
That the middle finger had, it's the same. It's essentially the same thing, but instead of being a mind control thing, this is a manipulation of power. Saying for him, for Malim, it's an armband, and she just puts it on herself. I mean, that's kind of whatever, but that's just kind of what it is. So in the manga, the reason why Valdora teleports to Walpurgis is because of a manga, but it's because Rimuru gives it's a different manga inside than what the cover showed. So Valdora was trying to read a specific manga, and he picks this one up thinking it's the continuation, and comes to find out that it's actually a different one.
Just like messes with him.
So yeah, he's fucking around with.
Oh, I was thinking like he had this shit planned out. Like once he gets to this point, this is when I need him. You know what I mean?
And just so happens that he teleports at the right time.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because we already discussed how Benimaru already planned ahead for the Prisoners of War.
Yep. Nope. It was because he wanted Valdora to read that manga, and he's like, "Come on, it's a good one." And Valdora gets all upset with him. He's like, "But I was trying to read the ending of that one."
Oh, okay. That's funny. That's hilarious.
Rimuru and Geld actually have access to each other's stomach using the special skill Food Chain, which is like the Predator skill.
Okay.
That sounds familiar, yeah, because Geld had a very similar ability. The more he ate, the more powerful he got.
And so they actually have the ability to basically grab whichever is in each other's stomachs.
Interesting.
Yeah. It might be something...
Would that mean that Geld has access to Ifrit?
I doubt it. I don't think it works both ways. I think it's just Rimuru has the ability to access Geld's stomach.
Okay.
One thing that doesn't get discussed in Walpurgis in the anime is they talk about the territories in which all the demon lords control.
I was wondering that myself. Like, what if 2 demon lords live in the same area? Does one control the west half and one control the east half, or
they just have them divided? So obviously Rimuru is in charge of the Great Jura Forest, and then I think he also gets Clayman's territory, if I remember right.
That bitch dead.
Yes, yeah, he's
absorbed him.
Super dead. At the very minimum, we know that Leon Cromwell killed Kazalim over 200 years ago. So that's how long...
So we have a time frame at that point?
We have a general time frame of everything that's happening.
Okay.
You find Laplace comes back and basically gives a report of everything that happened, and he tells Yuki and Kazarim, and Yuki says some things that you're like, I wonder what he's implying with those sentences. So I think Yuki, it's something to look out for, that Yuki has something up his sleeve for everything that happens.
Without spoiling season 3 stuff?
Honestly, they don't tell us. It's just something I'm inferring. that he has something planned. So one thing that you don't see that it kind of gets mentioned, it's just some kind of weird phrasing type stuff, is Ramaris, after she warns Rimuru and the rest of Tempest and everybody else of Walpurgis, she actually talks to Guy and convinces him to let Rimuru go to Walpurgis. So Rimuru wasn't actually invited to begin with because he wasn't a recognized demon lord.
Right. I was going to bring that up because I remember they were saying, Rimuru was saying like, let's crash this Walpurgis. Let's crash this party. And then when I was watching this, they just walked through a portal.
Yeah, he was
nonchalant.
Yeah, so he did get invited to Walpurgis. And then the only other main difference is you never actually hear Clayman talk about Kazarim in the manga. He never actually mentions Kazarim. He goes to, and then Rimuru sucks him up. Unlike in the manga where he's like, he basically was like, I'm sorry, Kazarim, or something along those lines, and then gets sucked up. That's not actually what happens. They do talk about Kazarim because they are both the same type of not undead. You mentioned it earlier, Ricky. Curse demons. Mm-hmm. So because they are both curse demons, they just infer that they are working together.
Right.
No, it's because Kazarim mentions Clayman and brings up Clayman, and that's why they talk about. Excuse me. Sorry. Apparently, I've had a little too many to drink. Clayman takes over Kazarim's territory so that they just assume that they were in cahoots with each other. And that's really all of the major differences between the two. And yeah, it was not a whole lot. And as I was saying the last time, they're about 40-ish pages per chapter. So there's a little bit of extra detail, but there was, 17 chapters between end of part 1 and the end of part 2 for season 2. So yeah, it was, looking forward to reading on. And then the other thing that I had mentioned is how Rimuru had wanted to try and talk to people after Walpurgis, and everybody's like, nah, I'm out. He's like, oh, well,
we're done with this.
I guess I'll talk to you guys later. And one thing that he mentioned is he was like, I wonder if there's a connection between Luminous and Lumini, the religion.
Okay.
So that was something he does mention, is if they are similar because of the name. So he doesn't know that where the Demon Lord's territory is. He just infers that because their names are similar, like almost to a T, that they're related to each other. So it'll be interesting to see what comes of that, which I can tell you do start finding out stuff.
Man, have you guys heard anything about season 3?
Nah.
Nothing.
I mean, season 2 is still relatively fresh to be come out, so I haven't personally seen or heard anything for season 3.
No, neither have I. No, but I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, this is part of my queue now. So I was watching it before we even decided we were going to make an episode on it.
That's right, yeah. You were already started. Figure that was.
So one thing that I am reading is a theatrical film was announced for the series. This movie is slated to release in fall of 22.
Oh,
yeah. I didn't see that.
So there is no announcement for season 3, but if they're coming out with a movie, probably a good indication that there's going to be a season 3. I will say, so you guys know how I mentioned that it ends on chapter 86?
Yeah.
I'm on chapter 90, so I'm not super far as far as the manga is concerned. But if you guys remember us talking about it, I had mentioned that this was originally a light novel. So the light novel is obviously further than the manga is, because they're much further. Now, if the light novel is over, I could not tell you, but I do know that it's a lot further along. There was 3 spin-offs to be released. So right now there are 20 volumes of the light novel.
20 volumes?
20 volumes. Now, I cannot tell you how... Well,
where the timelines are?
I'm seeing 21 volumes of the light novel.
Alright, I'm going to need you to read all of those and give me an update.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Because the manga already takes me a while. So I can't imagine how long the light novels are going to take me.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought I heard Lance was suggesting he's going to buy you a Christmas present.
I know you guys are good friends of mine, but I doubt you guys are going to spend hundreds of dollars on light novels, let alone mangas. So there's a lot to it. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens later on, and it'll be a fun time. I feel like this is going to be going for a while, which will be nice.
For sure.
I feel like a lot of wars are going to happen soon.
That's what I'm excited about. Just the fighting scenes.
Reaver is going to be the only demon lord at the end. I don't know that.
Hey, you. No. Don't look over here. Keep your eyes on the road. Got something for you. Take a listen to this.
In the newest Pokemon, they have Score Bunny, which is a starter.
What?
Yes.
Score Bunny?
So it's a fire bunny that plays soccer. He kicks balls.
He scores. Great.
Score, like Scorch, I think. Yeah. Oh, I get it. Like goal. Like Score Bunny.
Rad.
There's Score Bunny, who uses his mad soccer skills to steal, I think, like donuts or something like that.
How does he use his soccer skills to steal donuts?
He kicks it.
Oh, yummy.
The best part is, though, Score Bunny wants to go and follow Ash and go on big adventures. But
oh my
Ash
god,
is like,
Ash is still the main character of the anime?
Yes, where have you been? Yeah, so Ash is like, I'm getting on the train, I'm leaving, Score Bunny. And Score Bunny's
is it
like...
because he's 80 years old, that's why he sounds like that? Nothing makes donuts taste better than a foot coming in contact with them. If you like what you heard and love co-op with your friends, check out Gaming Together, a cooperative podcast. That's Gaming Together, a cooperative podcast.
I'm surprised he's the one and only.
So, all right. Well, you guys got anything else for season 2, part 2?
Nope.
Otherwise, Lance, we kind of skipped over your Lance's lessons, huh?
Yeah, let's get into some Lance's lessons. Today's Lance's lessons is going to be the Japanese word for reincarnation. It is umare kawari, spelled U-M-A-R-E-K-A-W-A-R-E. R-I. Sorry. That's a long word. But
You gotta say it, man. You gotta pronounce it.
umare kawari. It's a long word, but of course it's fitting for this because the show is called at that time I got reincarnated as a slime, so here we go. Find that word on our social media pages and make sure you like those. So that pretty much wraps us up for today, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're pretty good with that.
Yeah.
Overall, what do you guys think?
That's okay. Definitely just want to see more. That's all I can really say. What you guys?
I enjoyed it. I can't wait for season 3 and the movie. Definitely, that's for sure.
I know there's a movie in the mix. I'm excited for a movie.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, we're definitely all waiting for more. Safe to say we all enjoy this anime. It's not gonna leave our queue for a while.
Right.
But yeah, just to wrap it all up, that was it. Second season, part 2 of second season of That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. Make sure you guys like, follow, share. Let's grow this community. And until next time.